Over the years, we've been seeing something new with 3D and design software, which is the ability to work on the cloud directly, without needing your software to be installed locally on your machine. Right now, it is kind of a normal practice with CAD software such as Fusion 360, in addition to onshape. Also 2D design software like Canva, which is entirely cloud-based. But why are we not seeing the same with 3D animation or DCC software such as Blender, Maya, Max, and so on? What are the obstacles? Heck, is it even possible? And do 3D artists want it in the first place? Cloud-based 3D software are basically the idea of moving 3D work from a heavy desktop software into the browser or the cloud. So instead of installing huge programs and saving files locally, a lot of processing, storage, collaboration, and even rendering happens on remote servers. It's kind of similar to how Google Docs changed office work. Multiple people can work on the same 3D project at once. Version history is automatic, and you can open projects from almost any device. This became popular as internet speeds improved, and companies wanted easier collaboration for remote teams. One of the biggest examples is onshape, which is probably the most famous fully cloud-native CAD software. I mean right now. It was actively created by some of the original SolidWorks founders after they left SolidWorks. The interesting thing about onshape is that it runs entirely in the browser, and everything is stored online with built-in version control, almost like GitHub for CAD. Another major example is SolidWorks. Dassault, the company behind it, realized the industry was slowly moving toward browser workflows, so they started creating cloud-native versions of their tools. Xdesign is basically SolidWorks reimagined for the browser, with collaboration features and some cloud storage built in from the start. Surprisingly enough, Tinkercad is another huge one too, especially for beginners, schools, and hobbyists. This one is entirely cloud-based too, and it became insanely popular because people could jump into 3D modeling without downloading any complicated software, and a lot of kids actually got introduced to CAD and 3D printing through Tinkercad. Then you've got hybrid cloud software such as Autodesk Fusion, which still installs locally by the way, but a massive part of its workflow depends on cloud systems, collaboration, simulation jobs, cloud rendering, cam sharing, and team management. As for pure browser-based 3D content creation, we've got things like Victari, which is more focused on interactive 3D, web visuals, AR presentations, and product configurations. And lots of designers use it because you can create and share 3D scenes directly through a web link without needing any 3D knowledge. Not really. In terms of 3D modeling and sculpting, there have actually been a few attempts at web-based sculpting software over the years, but none have really challenged desktop giants like ZBrush or Blender Sculpt Mode. The biggest example today is SculptGL, which is a free web-based sculpting tool created by developer Stéphane Ginier. You can open it in the browser and immediately start sculpting without installing anything. It supports dynamic topology, voxel remeshing, PBR materials, and even tablet pressure support. It is surprisingly powerful for web-based software, but it is mainly used for learning, concept sculpting, and quick experiments rather than professional character production, or anything really. We've also seen over the years some texture painting software on the web, but they are mostly really primitive tools. So why 3D software still haven't adopted the cloud yet? Is it because it has limitations or something else? I think the biggest reason traditional software such as Maya, Blender, Houdini, or Max don't run in the cloud is honestly that modern 3D production is absurdly heavy. You see, a huge VFX scene can contain billions of polygons, gigantic textures, simulation caching, hundreds of gigabytes, complex rigs, particle systems, and massive node graphs. Studios also need ultra-low latency because animators and artists constantly have to move cameras, scrub timelines, sculpt meshes, paint textures, and preview simulations in real time. Even a tiny delay between your mouse movement and the viewport response feels terrible for you. Another huge problem is bandwidth. In VFX and game development, projects can easily become multiple terabytes in size. Imagine an entire studio streaming gigantic geometry caches, simulation files, mocap data, textures, and renders through the internet, all day long. Even with fast internet, uploading and syncing that much data actually becomes a nightmare. That's why most studios still prefer local workstations connected to high-end internal servers rather than fully browser-based workflows. Then there is GPU access. Modern 3D software depends heavily on direct GPU power for viewport rendering, simulations, ray tracing, denoising, and shader compilation. And running all that remotely in the cloud for thousands of artists all at once becomes insanely expensive. I mean for software companies. You see, CAD software is usually easier to move into the browser or the cloud, because CAD models are more mathematical and structured, where VFX and animation scenes are chaotic monsters, full of caches, simulations, textures, and animation data. A lot of 3D pipelines also depend on plugins, scripts, custom studio tools, and pipeline integrations, so big studios often have years of custom engineering built around Maya, Max, or Houdini, and moving all that to a cloud-native browser software would basically require rebuilding this entire system from scratch. And this is the reason the industry actually moves slowly. That said, some parts of the industry have moved partially into the cloud. For example, Adobe After Effects now has a heavy cloud collaboration feature through Creative Cloud and Frame.io. DaVinci Resolve also supports collaborative workflows where multiple artists can work on projects remotely through shared databases and servers, but the actual heavy work still mostly happens locally on your machine. There are also some real browser-based 3D creation tools. Clara was one of the earliest attempts at a full cloud 3D package. It supported modeling, animation, rendering, collaboration, and even cloud V-Ray rendering directly in the browser. It was honestly ahead of its time, but eventually it shut down, I think, back in 2022 because competing with desktop giants was extremely difficult. In game development, PlayCanvas is probably one of the best examples of cloud-native 3D creation that eventually survived. It is a browser-based game engine where teams can collaboratively edit scenes online almost like Google Docs for games. It became popular for web games, interactive ads, configurations, and lightweight 3D experiences. There are also companies experimenting with cloud streaming rather than true browser-native software. Services like NVIDIA Omniverse Cloud, AWS virtual workstations, or remote desktop pipelines basically let you as an artist run normal desktop software remotely on powerful cloud machines. So technically you are using Maya or Blender in the cloud, but the software itself is still the traditional desktop software. So the industry today is kind of in a hybrid phase. CAD and collaborative design software moved much faster toward cloud-native workflows, while animation, VFX, and AAA game development still mostly rely on local desktop software. But can that change in the future? Not that I want it to, but yeah, honestly I think a lot of these limitations probably can be solved over time, or at least reduced enough that cloud-based 3D animation becomes much more normal. You can already see the early signs happening right now, with cloud gaming, remote workstations, AI upscaling, GPU streaming, and fast internet infrastructures. So the tech is improving year after year. The biggest thing I think needs to improve is latency. Right now, every tiny delay feels horrible when animating or sculpting, but cloud gaming companies are already pushing insanely low latency streaming with technologies like AV1 encoding, edge servers, and ultra-fast GPU streaming. If people can eventually play fast-paced competitive games smoothly, I mean from the cloud, the same technology can help cloud-based 3D software feel responsive too. GPU technology is also evolving really fast. Modern cloud systems can already stream RTX-level graphics remotely. NVIDIA, for example, has been heavily pushing cloud GPU ecosystems, virtual workstations, Omniverse Cloud, and Cloud XR for remote 3D workflows and XR streaming. And this is basically the foundation for future cloud-native animation tools. But honestly, the future probably won't be everything fully in the browser. The more realistic future is probably a hybrid workflow. You see, heavy simulations, rendering, AI processing, and caching may happen in the cloud, while artists still interact locally in the lightweight scene data. We already kind of see this with cloud rendering today. Another huge thing that could change everything is smart data streaming. Right now, entire massive scenes often need to sync between machines, which is extremely inefficient. But newer research into point cloud streaming, Gaussian splatting streaming, and advanced compression is trying to make 3D data much lighter and faster, to transmit in real time. If this actually matures, huge VFX scenes might become much easier to stream interactively. The funny thing is, young artists may eventually see installing giant software locally the same way modern people see installing software from CDs. So the industry is shifting already. A lot of collaboration, asset management, rendering, review systems, and simulation processing is already moving into the cloud, little by little. But high-end VFX and AAA game development production are probably among the hardest industries to fully cloudify, because they push hardware harder than almost anything else in computing. But who knows? Only the future can tell. And there you have it, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, please subscribe to the channel to receive more videos like this. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.